the first writings of the church fathers, people like Irenaeus, are writing against Gnosticism. And there are various Gnostic sects. Modalism basically teaches in different ways, because there are different forms of it. These views basically say that God is one in person and one in essence. But rather than the way that Islam does it, they do say that God is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But the way that this is expressed is that either the Son and the Spirit are really just described as attributes of God or parts of God in some sense, not as distinct persons, or it's said that God becomes one and then becomes the other, so that God is the Father who becomes the Son, who becomes the Spirit at different points. So he's the Father in the Old Testament, the Son in the New, and then after Pentecost, now he's the Spirit. And this idea shows up at different points in church history. They mention new people who teach these same ideas. There were some Anabaptists that taught it. It does tend to be a view that shows up pretty much among the uneducated. And I don't mean that as an insult. It just is the way that it often is. But there are very clear examples of how this is just not the case. We have examples of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit all working together, not as one person, but as three distinct persons. The most clear example that's usually given is the baptism of Jesus. You have the Father declaring who his Son is, that he is his beloved Son. You have the Spirit descending upon the Son in the form of a dove. So you have all three persons at work there. Even the act of creation itself, you have the Father, you have the Word being spoken in creation, and you have the Spirit hovering over the waters. You have examples of the angel of the Lord being worshipped, the messenger of the Lord, and being distinct from the Lord. That's why he's called the angel of the Lord. He's not the Lord, but he's an angel of the Lord. But he's also God. So what does that mean? Well, he's a distinct Lord. He's the Son of the Father. You have examples of things like Psalm 110, the Lord said to my Lord. So David has two Lords. Who are those two Lords? Well, one is the Son, one is the Father. They're distinct Lords in some sense. Now, we can also say that there is one Lord and there's one divine essence. But the way that this is being worked out in the Old Testament text, the point of the psalm is to say that there are two persons here when we're speaking about David's Lord. So throughout both the Old and the New Testament, it's very clear that there is a distinction between the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.